everybody, Sarah here. So today I'm going to be going over all of the different cinder combinations in corn snakes. Cinder is a very interesting one. We've talked about it before. I did a deep dive on it. I will link that above if you guys would like to go watch that. Before we jump in, I want to thank all the members on this channel who helped make everything possible. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. If anybody else would like to become a member, you can click join under any video to do so. There are different perks for different levels, so if you're interested in any of those perks, please check that out. Also, a quick thank you to Reptilinks for helping to support this channel. If you guys would like to use my code SarahSnake27 at checkout at Reptilinks.com, it will get you a discount on some amazing food for your snakes, as well as help support my channel. I also have a website, sarahsnakeshop.com, where I sell corn snakes and corn snake accessories, so if you would like to check that out, all the links to all of these things are all down below. I also have snakes available on Morph Market, which is probably the easiest way for me to get snakes to you guys, so if you're interested in seeing what I have available, that's the place to go. So a quick recap of Cinder. Cinder reduces a lot of the reds in corn snakes. It doesn't take it away completely, but it does seem to reduce it a lot. Usually kind of adds a speckling overall to the snake that is kind of uncommon in other morphs. It also often has a sort of mask-like appearance with checkers lining up along the edges of the belly sometimes, and kind of a mask-looking head pattern as well. Another key feature of Cinder is that on average there are more saddle blotches on Cinder than there are on the normal or average corn snakes. And this can cause some very interesting combinations to happen, and we will be looking at some of those. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover every single mutation that's in here. There are so many, but I'm going to show you some of the ones that I thought were interesting, as well as the ones that have definitive names already. I also wanted to mention that all of these photos, for the most part, came from Ian's Vivarium, so please check that out. I will link them in the description below. They are a wonderful resource if you're trying to learn corn snake morphs. The first one on the list is just Caramel Cinder, and it's very interesting to me. Caramel Cinders kind of don't look like either a caramel or a cinder. When I look at it, I can definitely tell that it's got some sort of cinder pattern like going on, but as far as caramel, it's very difficult to see like the caramel in this at all. And in fact, you can also tell that in most of these cinders, there's actually not very much yellow going on. Cinder also greatly reduces yellow, or sometimes takes it away completely, which is also probably why the caramel cinder doesn't look like a typical caramel morph of any kind. The next one on the list, and probably one of the most common cinder combinations, is the Peppermint, and that is amelanistic mixed with cinder. This is where we can really see that those reds do stay in cinder. They're reduced, but they are definitely still there. Next one on the list is the Lava Cinder. This one is also really interesting because anything mixed with cinder just doesn't seem like it is what it's being mixed with, except for maybe amel. Amel's a really easy one when you mix it with cinder to tell that there's amel in there. But when you mix cinder with lava, it does have this very almost eerie look to it in the way that the colors kind of fade in and out of each other, and it's like this gray on red or red on gray. Very interesting color palette. Next up is the Lavender Cinder, and once again we have one that if I were to look at this, never in a million years would I have said that's a Lavender Cinder, or lavender anything for that matter. You can see that this looks like a cinder that just doesn't have any reds. There's a little bit of that sort of powder purpley pink, but there are no actual reds on this snake, and that is actually what the lavender is contributing. I would really love to see this combination in scaleless, because we do know that lavender and scaleless kind of just more looks like a hypo scaleless, because lavender affects the way that the colors come in through the scales, but not necessarily the colors on the skin itself or the pigment itself. And so knowing all of that, I think kind of seeing what cinder and lavender would really look like mixed together on a scaleless snake, I just think that would be a really interesting project to do. If anybody's doing that, let me know. I would really love to see it. Hey everyone, Sarah in editing here. I realized there was one that I forgot, which is Candy Floss. This is basically a snow plus cinder, so amel, anery, and cinder. It's gonna pretty much look like a snow, but have more of that cindery pattern, as well as probably reduced yellows. There's actually not too many photos of these online, and I actually really looked and really struggled to find more than just this one photo that was on Ian's Vivarium. I hesitated to put it in, but I decided to put it in because technically it is is a named mutation. Here's one that is also really common and really beautiful, the Hypo Cinder corn snake. As you know, hypomelanistic takes away a little bit of melanin, which is that dark black pigment. So when something is a hypomelanistic, just a little bit of it is taken away, and it's usually faded to like a gray or sometimes a brown. In Cinder's case, it turns more of a gray, but this like extra sort of taking away of melanin really makes those reds and pinks and powder purple colors in the saddles pop super, super brightly. I would say of all of the like color like mixes with Cinder, Hypo Cinder is definitely one of my favorites, even though it's very simple. Seeing those bright powder purples and pinks on top of that gray, I just love that look. This next one is also a pretty common mix. This is a butter mint. So if you know what butter is, it's sort of like butter peppermint combination. Now, of course, saying butter peppermint is a little redundant because that amelanistic term is kind of being used twice. So we just kind of shove it together and say butter mint. So this is going to be your amel, caramel, and cinder. And next, and probably my favorite so far, is the lava mint. And of course, we mentioned with the buttermint that you just sort of shove those two together. Well, we did the same with lava mint, even though it doesn't quite make as much sense. This is, of course, the peppermint plus lava. So amel, lava, and cinder. That I have pictured here is actually also a halo. I've done a video on halo before, but that halo yellow does tell us that Cinder is capable of producing yellows. It just doesn't typically, so it kind of needs that yellow enhancing mutation of some kind to really have yellows in it, which I would say is unlike lavender or most lavenders, where most lavender you're not going to see those bright yellows. In fact, I don't think that I've ever seen any lavenders with bright yellows. And I've certainly never seen any opals that could have halo. I've seen a lot of opals and none of them so far have been halo. But if any of you out there do have lavenders or lavender types with a lot of yellows on them, I would really love to see them. I am going to be leaving out a few very key, interesting Cinder ones. I'll post a couple photos up here really quick. Those will be in the pattern mutation ones when I go through these videos with pattern mutations. But since Cinder is mostly a color mutation, we're doing all the color mutation videos like this first, and then I'll go back and do the pattern mutations where you'll get to see some of the more interesting ones. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And if there's something specific that you would really like one of these videos on, let me know in the comments, and I'll probably make a video on it. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Thunder's still going.